Brahmachari Achyutamrita Chaitanya ji along with us today to head this pilot panel. He has more than 30 years of experience in teaching. His master's is in Hindi language and literature, and his PhD was on analysis of Ramacharita on the basis of Bhakti Shastra. He serves as the associate editor of Madhravani, the spiritual monthly magazine. He has given many spiritual discourses, and his satsangs are regularly aired on Amrita TV. Opening question is about Brahma Sutra, whether it is a compilation of Vedanta, more clarification on Brahma Sutra is required. This was the question as framed by the questionnaire, because two different views are emerging in the first paragraph of the second module. So please clarify. This is a question which came in the Telegram group as well as through a mail. So I kindly request Achyutamrita ji to attend to that question.
Namah Shivaya. For the first time, I am addressing you all blessed souls. Let me start with a prayer to my Guru and Mother for blessing me with the right intellect and right words to deliver here. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The question is, I will read out it. More clarification on Brahma Sutra is required because two different views are emerging in the first paragraph of the second module. So the doubt came because this question arose because there is a statement in the first paragraph, treatise on the system of Vedanta that is known as the Brahma Sutra. I hope this is the point that I have to clarify. The two words appearing in this sentence, Vedanta and Brahma Sutra, might have aroused some doubts in the reader or in the listener that what is the relation between these two words. So two terminologies are used. So a little clarification is necessary. So I will take some 5 or 6 minutes to address this question. As you have gone through many webinars and for 4 modules already, maybe 3 or 4 modules. So you might have had some background, and many of you already have some background. So I need not go to the preliminaries of the concepts in detail. Still, I will just touch the preliminaries and then come to the question. And and as far as I know, I will try to explain. Because this phrase, as far as I know, is very important because this is a very vast subject. Nobody can claim that we are anyone is a master of these subjects. It is just like ocean. Even Mahabharata is compared to an ocean. Ramayana is compared to a great river. Vedas are also Mahodadhi, a great ocean. So we cannot claim that we know everything about these subjects. So I will answer from my knowledge. I am sharing my knowledge. You just see it as just sharing of my knowledge and views. Now, the word Vedanta and Brahma Sutra. Veda, you know, this is the basic or fundamental text of Sanatana Dharma. As convention goes, even when I say this, there may be questions. Why don't you include tantras? So these questions I am keeping aside. Let us go to the conventional belief that Vedas are the fundamental text of Vedanta, of Sanatana Dharma. Then when the Vedas were revealed scriptures, you know, it was revealed to seers. So these revealed scriptures were handed over to the world, handed over to the world through oral tradition. So to whom these were revealed, they are called rishis or seers. You can roughly translate it as seers, but all translations are misleading. There are no translations for Sanskrit words and especially for words coming in Vedika Sahitya, Vedic literature, they are really difficult to be translated because there are many methods to find out the meaning of even a single word, like Nirukta, Vyakarana, and even intonation, Shiksha. The intonation itself, when you stress a vowel or a vowel in a word, the meaning gets changed. Two stresses in two different places in a vowel, in a word itself takes two meanings to the same word. There are many examples in Veda, like Indra Shatru is a famous word. When you speak Indra Shatru in a special tone, in a particular tone, its meaning is something else. When you use the same word or utter the same word, pronounce the same word in another tone, it will become a different meaning. It will give a different meaning. So I take the liberty to translate this rishis as seers. So this seers are those who got the Vedic knowledge, received the Vedic knowledge, you can say from God, from Ishvara. Yasya Nishwasitam Vedaha, it is said, Ishvara alone revealed this to the seers. And this knowledge was communicated to their disciples, and in that way, it is still now a very vibrant tradition of Veda. Almost all the Vedas are there intact, but in the Middle Ages, maybe in the Middle Ages of Indian history, many of the shakhas, many of the branches of Vedas were lost. But after that, there are not much losses happen to the Vedic tradition, and some of the traditions are now going to get extinct because of people who are not ready to study Vedas. People who are born in these Vedic families are not ready to study these Vedas. So some of the traditions are going to be lost. But if you take the history of some 500 years, all the shakhas are intact. Now I will come to the question. Vedas are revealed scriptures, and it is mainly sound. It is sound. Only sound is taught to the disciples. The Vedic words are taught to the disciples. And in this way, all the Vedas are learned by heart by the disciples, and they teach it to their disciples when they become gurus. They become teachers. They teach it to their disciples, and in that way, the Vedas text is preserved. And these Vedic, uh, those who chant Vedas doesn't go into the meaning of the Vedas. They just preserve the text. And it is the duty of the explorers, the jignasus, the inquirers to find out the meaning. So to find out the meaning, we use 6 tools. They are called limbs of Vedanga. They are Shiksha, Kalpam, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chandas, and Jyotish. I am not going into the details. Grammar, phonetics, etymology, etc. Even Jyotisha, this astronomy, all this comes into play. So by using these 6 angas, limbs, you find out the meaning of the Vedas. But different people, different scholars who are masters of Vedas and Vedangas, when they understand the meaning of Vedas, they get different meanings. So these different meanings gave birth to different schools of thought based on Vedas. These schools of thoughts based on Vedas are called Vaidika Darshanas. You can, and they are called also Astika Darshanas because Astika is one who follows Vedas. If you can translate that word as believers, something like that. And Nastika is translated as atheist. These are theists. Astikas are theists and Nastikas are atheists. So Astikas follow the Vedas. They believe Vedas. They have faith in Vedas. So there are 6 schools of thoughts which bring forth the meaning of Vedas. And these 6 schools of thoughts differ between them. These 6 schools of thoughts are: first is Sankhya, second is Vaisheshika, third is first is Sankhya, second is Yoga, third is Nyaya, fourth is Vaisheshika, fifth is Mimamsa, and sixth is Mimamsa. Both are Mimamsas. But the previous and the final, you can call it previous and final. Just like earlier times, there were 2 exams for MA courses and MSc courses, previous and final. So previous Mimamsa and final Mimamsa. This is Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. So these are the 6 schools of thoughts, and these schools of thoughts these 6 schools of thoughts define our interpret Vedas. They are all scholars. All the masters of these schools are scholars. They interpret Vedas according to their knowledge, which they derived from the text of the Veda as well as the Angas of Veda. And Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa are extremely dependent on Vedas. All the four previous darshanas or schools of thought, they are not that much slaves to Veda. In a word, we can say, in a way, we can say slaves to Veda. They believe in Veda. They find their philosophy, their thoughts from Vedas, and they present it. But Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa adheres 100% to Veda. And this Purva Mimamsa people, which school was started by the great Acharya Jaimini, who is supposed to be a disciple of Vyasa. They believe, they find out the meaning of Vedas as karma. Karma is not the word that we use in our daily life. It is not that. It is Vedic karma. You translate it as rituals. And Vaidika karma is the essence of Veda. That is what is they propose. And they have a very famous saying in Purva Mimamsa Sutras by Jaimini. That sutra is a Purva Paksha Sutra. It is not actually a Siddhanta Sutra. You might have heard of Purva Paksha and Siddhanta. Purva Paksha is the argument, Siddhanta is the solution. But there is a sutra in Purva Mimamsa which goes like this: Amnayasya Kriyarthatvat Anarthakyam Adadarthana. This gives an essence of the Purva Mimamsa theory. That means Amnayasya Kriyarthatva. Amnaya or Veda is for Kriya, for karma, for rituals. Anarthakyam Adadarthana. Those verses or those mantras or those statements in Veda which are not supportive to Kriyas, karma, are Anarthakyam. It is meaningless. This is the concept that Purva Mimamsakas use. Even though the sutra is not a Siddhanta Sutra, it is a Purva Paksha Sutra, still it contains the approach of the Purva Mimamsakas. They argue that Vedas are only for karmas. There are many karmas prescribed in Vedas. They stick to the theory that we have to do all these karmas and we will go to Swarga as a result of it. Then comes the Uttara Mimamsa. They also strictly follow Vedas, analyze Vedas with all vehemency. They analyze and they refute Purva Mimamsa and says that karma is not the end of Veda. The end of Veda or the goal of Veda or the essence of Veda, the import of Veda is Jnana or Brahma. Brahma Jnana is the essence of Veda. And they say their Veda ends. Anta means end. Veda means you know. Anta has another meaning. It is Nirnayaha, conclusion. Ando Nirnayaha, there is a dictionary in which, in Sanskrit, all dictionaries have poem, like Amara Kosha, Medini Kosha, Hema Kosha, all dictionaries are in poem. So in one dictionary, Anta is called as Nirnaya. And Shankaracharya, the Bhashyakara, has quoted this Ando Nirnaya. Nirnaya means conclusion. So Vedanta means Veda's conclusion or Veda's end. What is the end of Veda? It is knowledge. After knowledge, there is no relevance to Veda. Veda has served its purpose and it withdraws. There's a famous verse in Bhagavad Gita in 2nd chapter. It goes like this. Yavan artha udapane sarvada sambludodage tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. When there is a flood, what use is there for well, pond, and all these water reservoirs? When there is a flood of water, only that much use is there for a Brahmajnani from Vedas. So Vedas becomes useless. They have served their purpose and they withdraw, and they take the person who pursues Veda or follows Veda to the ultimate state of Brahmajnana and they retires. So this is Vedanta. Then Veda becomes non-Vedas. In Brihadaranya Upanishad, there is a famous statement, Vedaha bhavanti. Vedas become non-Vedas. That means Vedas become irrelevant to a person who has the realization of the Brahma Jnana. This is the theory that is put forward by Vedantims or Uttara Mimamsaka. And their theory is, even though we call it as a Vaidika Darshana, their theory mainly follows the Upanishads of Vedas. You have gone through that module, and you have found, you have studied that there are 4 parts in a Veda: Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. So these Vedantis, or these people who are Uttaramimamsakas, they follow the authority or supremacy of Upanishads. And Purvamimamsakas, as I told you, they consider Upanishads as meaningless, anarthakyam adadarthana, because Upanishads does not prescribe karmas, they prescribe jnana, Brahmajnana. So they discard Upanishads are just meaningless utterances. They are not used in any karma, any Vaidika karma. So these Upanishads are the basis of Uttaramimamsakas, and you can see in almost all the main Upanishads come in the end part of Vedas. Actually, it is not everywhere in the end part, but mainly, generally, we found the Upanishads in the end. For example, there is the Ishavasya Upanishad, which comes in the Samhita, in the main text of, core text of Yajurveda, and it comes at the end of a Samhita. Samhita means the mantra part, the main text of the Veda. And if you go, you can go to Brahmanas, Aranyakas, and you find mainly Upanishads are in the end part of those texts, like Brahmanas, Aranyakas, etc. But it is not a general. This is not a strict rule. It can find in middle also. Can come in the middle also. So there are many meanings for the word Vedanta. The main meaning is, it is the culmination of knowledge, of Vedic knowledge. When we reach Vedanta, the Vedas become irrelevant. Vedas have served their purpose, and no more necessity of Vedas are there. Necessity of Vedas is there for a person who have realized this Vedanta, Brahmajnana. So I mentioned that Upanishads are the foundation of the basis of Vedanta, this Uttaramimamsa. So how can you find the essence of Upanishad, which is the main source of this Brahmajnana? Upanishads say many things in many ways. So Brahma Sutra was written by Vedavyasa, Badarayana. He went through the whole Upanishads and took the ideas of the Upanishads and made it into 555 sutras. Sutras means very small sentences. They will not have kriya, verb. These sentences may be incomplete in many senses. Still, they contain a very deep meaning, and it has to be commented upon by some scholar to understand its meaning. So 555 sutras are there in Brahma Sutra, and this Brahma Sutra is the essence of Upanishads, which is, according to Uttaramimamsakas, the essence of Vedas. So from Vedas, an Uttaramimamsaka will say that Vedas lead to Upanishads, and if there are confusing statements in Upanishads, those statements has to be documented, has to be organized, and the organized presentation of the message of Upanishads is found in Brahma Sutra. So it naturally comes, we have to come to the conclusion naturally that these Brahma Sutras are the essence of Vedanta, or the fundamental text of Vedanta. It is the treaty on Vedanta. It is an organized documentation of Vedanta's principles. That is why both the words are used in the text, Vedanta or Brahma Sutra. So I hope I am clear.